Good evening, beloved Chairman, respected CEO, the principals of the schools present here today, teachers, and all the aspiring students from the various colleges and universities under the Raja's group of institutions, as well as from the other places. A pleasant welcome to everyone who took time out of his or her busy schedules to be here with us today. My name is Joanne from TRIS, and I will be your host for what is to be an informative evening. Coffee at TRIS takes place once every month and is a platform wherein esteemed guests join us to share their life experiences, skills, and lessons of practicality to inspire the students of tomorrow. Today's Coffee at TRIS is just the beginning of a series of talks on admissions into the community college in Baltimore. The Community College of Baltimore County is ranked among the #1 providers of undergraduate education, workforce development, technology training, and lifelong learning or life enrichment in the Baltimore metropolitan area, nationally recognized as a leader in innovative learning strategies. Joining us today from all the way across the world is Dr. Mani Kurian, along with his fellow colleagues. Dr. Mani Kurian, a native of Kottayam, Kerala, completed his MBBS degree from Trivandrum Medical College and went to the USA to pursue a PhD in biomedical sciences at the Catholic University of America, Washington, D.C. After completing his postdoctoral fellowship at the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine, Dr. Kurian joined as teaching faculty at his alma mater, the Catholic University of America, and in 2019 joined Ccbc as assistant professor in the Department of Biology. Dr. Kurian loves to teach and interact with students. With hopes that the students present here comply with your love to interact with students, I would like to pass the platform to you, sir.
Thanks, Joanne, for that wonderful introduction. Yes, I love to teach, and I also love to travel to India. I love to travel to India. You know, I was talking to my colleagues from Ccbc yesterday, and I was telling them about the coffee I miss, the Kerala coffee I miss. The one with the chicory, because that's the only coffee I can drink, because the American coffee is too strong for me. So I routinely travel to, I used to travel to India just to drink coffee. No, I'm just kidding. To meet my parents and my sibling. My sister lives there. I have an extended family in Kottayam and other places in Kerala. So yeah, so thank you again. And thanks for inviting us to this very popular, I'm told, very popular series called Coffee at TRIS. So we are delighted to be here, and I'm looking at the number of participants, and boy, I'm so impressed. I don't know if I've ever spoken to a number of individuals like this, 95 strong, other than classrooms where I've taught 2 students. So thank you so much for that. For inviting us and for participating and for coming to this this occasion. Let me introduce you guys to my colleagues from Ccbc. I'll start with Miss Nelly Formeleda. There she is, waving her hand. And she is the Assistant Director of the International Student Services at our institution, the Community College of Baltimore County. And so she is the big person at, the big shot at Ccbc when it comes to international students. So, keep her name in your memory, because she's going to be your person. And the point person for India specifically at the international office at Ccbc is Miss Elizabeth Smith. There she is, waving at you. So any questions you guys have about, coming here and education, of course, you can contact me. And also, but, the experts here are Miss Nelly and Miss Elizabeth. So with that, I would move straight into our talk today. So thank you, everybody, for coming all the way across, like Joanne said, all the way from across the world. The good thing is, because of technology, we can all meet. And people from Kerala, people from Tamil Nadu, everybody's here. So I sincerely give my thanks for coming here. The way I wanted to do this today is to start with a presentation, about 30 minutes or so, presentation about CCBC and about Maryland, the state where CCBC is at. And then later, during our question answer session, we would love to interact with you, get your questions, and try to get answers to them as much as we can. And if we can't, we will always get back to you with the correct answers. So, any questions you have, you can always feel free to interrupt me while I'm presenting, but you can also leave them towards the end or put it on the chat box so that we can answer them at a later time. So with that, I'm going to share my screen, and I don't know if you can see it, and that's one of the, can everyone see the presentation or no? No? Okay, so maybe I put the wrong one. So I'll start with a little introduction to the community college, and then we'll talk about the admissions process and why we think community college, in particular, CCBC would be a good option for students in your school, students here and elsewhere in India to pursue to get their dreams about higher education in the US. And again, the presentation, I'll be leading the presentation, and Miss Elizabeth and Miss Nellie would join in between during the presentations. By the way, this is what you're looking at here is a picture of our campus, one of our three main campuses, and we also have 3 additional extension sites, we call them, so 6 campuses in the Baltimore area. So this is where we are. So I'll start with being a professor. I like to, introduce the fundamentals first. So I don't know how many of you know the idea of a community college in the US. I don't know, because if it was a classroom where I could interact with students, I would ask this question and wait for the students to respond. But since this is a 100-strong group, and many of you are not on the screen, so I would just leave that question there. But my guess is many of you may not know a lot about community colleges. So this is where I come in and try to tell you what a community college is. So community colleges have a long history in the USA. It started in the 18th century, or rather 19th century, in the 1800s. And it was actually part of an idea that students need to be groomed for college. And so it was started as a grooming place, but then it evolved into many more things. But basically, it's a 2-year college. It's a 2-year college, which it provides affordable quality education after your 12th grade or your post-secondary education. And like I said, it prepares you for the higher level courses at a university. And you would be surprised to know that there are about 1,000 community colleges in the USA providing, services or education to almost 50% of undergraduate students here. And many of them are like our institution. They are approved by the Department of State. They are what we call the Student and Exchange Visitor Program certified, meaning they can allow international students to study at their institutions, and they are well recognized. They have accreditations from national institutions. So their programs are recognized. But then the question comes, why do you want to be at a community college? And I'll tell you the reason. Because of my own personal experience, I can tell you community colleges offer a distinct and a very distinct advantage. And one of them is their small class sizes, which allows a faculty like me to provide individual attention to the students, in a very supportive environment. And to drive home that point, I want to show you a picture. Like they say, a picture reveals, is 1,000 words. This is and I'm not exaggerating, this is a classroom in a four-year college, an undergraduate classroom. This is how it looks like. It looks more like a movie theater, right? And if you turn off the lights, you can actually go off to sleep. No, I'm just kidding. But this is how it looks like, and I'll show you another picture. This is my classroom. In fact, this is one of my colleagues teaching students at Ccbc, and I was telling my colleagues from Ccbc that I teach in that same classroom this semester. So this is what I was talking about when I talk about the individualized attention that we can provide at colleges like Ccbc. So basically, we do have an advantage over many of these university undergraduate programs in the sense that we provide the same excellent education, but at a fraction of the cost. And this is where I think the reason is that community colleges have an advantage, which is great education, but at a fraction of the cost. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, if you look at the table on the right, I put the information about what a typical international student pays for 1 year of education at different institutions. And I'm going to explain what these different institutions mean. You already know what is a community college, and I put the tuition rates for community college of Baltimore County. But then there are the universities, four-year universities, which are of two types. One is the public universities, which are mostly funded by the state. And so they have less fees. And then there are the purely private institutions, which have limited funding from the government. So most of their funding comes from tuition from the students. So when you look at the yearly tuition cost for full-time study at Ccbc, it comes to about $11,000. So I've done the math based on yesterday's exchange rates for US dollar to rupee, and it comes to about 8 lakhs a year. Okay, so 2 years, 16 lakhs. At a university that is public, and one of the popular ones in this area is University of Maryland, College Park, which is right in the neighborhood where we are, and it's a public university. It costs an undergraduate student about $35,000 US dollars a year. That converts to about 26 lakhs per year. Okay, so do the math. That's 52 lakhs for 2 year period. Okay. And then there is the private institutions. And again, another one in our neighborhood is Johns Hopkins. You might have heard about Johns Hopkins. It's pretty popular. It's pretty prestigious, pretty well known, but, and it's a private one. And here's how much you pay for that. For 1 year, it's about 40 lakhs rupees. That comes to about 80 lakhs for a 2 year period, right? So cost is substantially different. So then if cost is substantially higher, and the educational quality of education is similar, why not come to community college, especially the first 2 years? Because what you do in those first 2 years of undergraduate education is what we call complete the foundational courses, what we call the prerequisites. Okay, we complete all the prerequisite courses for the degree program that you're interested in, and then you move on to the 4 year college. And this is where we come in. As a community college, we help you prepare and transfer to a 4 year university, either in this region or elsewhere in the United States, where you will complete your remaining 2 years of education and then get your bachelor's degree from that university. Okay, and if you're interested to pursue a career, we will help you. We have career guidance. We can help you with that. Or if you're interested in pursuing further education, let's say your master's degree, your PhD, there again, you can do that. Either, at that same institutions where you did your degree, completed your degree, or at another institution in the United States. So that makes it a good option to pursue your initial education in a community college, especially at a place like CCBC. And why is that? Because like I mentioned, we have excellent programs, and we are not limited to the type of programs. We offer about close to 300 degree programs, certificate programs, licensure programs, that courses that you take can be used to pursue your undergraduate course at any other four-year college or university. So we have about 60,000 students, close to 60,000 students who complete their degree programs, or rather first 2 years of the degree programs, and get an associate's degree and move on to careers, or pursue, or they go on to finish their four-year degree programs from other education institutions. So we have all the programs, the excellent teaching facilities that you need to reach your educational goals. And some of the important or some of the popular programs among international students include healthcare, or a degree in healthcare. Science and math is quite popular. Technology, you name, computer science, IT, engineering. Business and law is quite popular among international students, and things like that. So you can pursue all those degree programs by starting at CCBC. So I've put in a few of them here, and these are just a few of those programs that we offer at CCBC. Includes one of our most popular ones are the ones in healthcare. That includes nursing, anesthesia technology, dental hygiene, MLT or medical lab tech courses, occupational therapy. So all those things are offered, and more. I'm just, for lack of time and for not making it too dense, I've just included a few of these programs that are quite popular amongst students here and international students at CCBC. Or you can, if you're one of those IT guys who wants to, decide if the Zoom technology works like it is working now, then this is again a place for you. Computer science is a very popular program. Cybersecurity, a very up and coming program. Digital forensics, informational technology, health informatics, another very, very up and coming area of interest in many students. So all those programs, they are all available at CCBC. Let's say you're not into technology, you're not into healthcare. Well, we have business studies. People are interested in business management, business practices, and finance, and all that. Again, I'm not an expert in those, so I don't know much about them. But those are also some of the other popular programs, and all of them, like I said, are recognized throughout the U.S. because they are accredited by institutions. So those are the things that are available at CCBC. So once you finish those foundational courses or those prerequisites for these degree programs, the way it works in the US, which might be slightly different from India, is that you can take those courses, you can take the credit from those courses, and then transfer the whole thing to the four-year college without having to pay a four-year college tuition, but get the credit for those 2 years of education from CCBC or other community colleges, and then complete the rest of the courses you need to finish your degree program. And CCBC, like I said, we have agreements with local universities, guaranteed transfer programs for many students. Again, part of it is about hard work. If you work hard, you get the grades. You are able to get a transfer to any of these institutions, and some of them are quite prestigious. As you can see the list, these are some of the places like Stanford, Cornell, Columbia University, New York, American University right here in this area in Washington, D.C., Georgia Tech, University of Maryland, another popular destination for our students. So these are places where our students have gone and successfully completed their degree programs in whatever area of interest they want to pursue. Okay, so that's about how you can study. You can start your US dreams, educational dreams right here in this college or any other community college in this area that we can help you with, and then move on to completing your degree at the four-year college. While you're here, we are right here to help you with many other support systems that we have, which Miss Elizabeth Smith is going to talk to you about. So Miss Elizabeth, whenever you're ready. You're muted. Yeah, there you go.
I'm not anymore.
Not anymore.
All right, so you'll let me know if you can hear me clearly. So welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this evening, your time, this morning, our time. It's my pleasure to be here and to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is international students at CCBC. I am one of several counselors in the International Student Services Department. We are a small department, but extremely dedicated to the success of our international students and also getting to know them on a personal, one-on-one, individualized basis. So Dr. Kurian was talking about one of the advantages of being a professor at a community college is that he has small number of students in his classroom. It's similar in our office. We really do go out of our way to get to know people beyond the classroom experience. So International Student Services is going to be the starting point for each and every one of you who may want to consider coming to CCBC. And even before you come to Maryland, before you come to Baltimore, you'll be in touch with us, most likely via email. We will give you that information later on to express an interest, to complete an application, to move forward and get an I-20 from us if you decide that this is a school that's going to be a good fit for your needs. And then go to the embassy, request that they give you a student visa to come and study here in the United States at CCBC. And then once you come to Baltimore, once you get to Maryland, you're going to, once again, you're going to come to our office. We're going to be able to meet for the first time in person, hopefully. And we're going to take you through the next steps of the process, basically get you registered for your first semester of classes, introduce you to some other key people that will be able to help you along the way and facilitate your transition into Baltimore, into a new life, because it is going to be a bit of a new life for all of you coming here for the first time. So International Student Services, if you would think about that as your first one-stop shopping, if you have a question and you don't know where to go, always come to us first. If we are not the best people to answer your question, we will most likely know who to turn you over to. So we will facilitate making a transition to the people that can best help you. All right. So I want to move on about talking about housing. So clearly housing is a very important issue because everybody needs a place to live when they come here. In general, community colleges do not have dorms on campus. Catonsville, which is where we are located, that's the city, small city that we're located in, is fortunate in the fact that they have many small, I would call them small towns, communities, within a 3 to 5 mile radius of where our campus is. They're easily accessible by public transportation, and they're a nice mix of both residential housing as well as, shops, not huge shopping malls, but, there's coffee shops and there's laundry facilities and places to buy groceries and the things that you basically need for your day-to-day existence. So there's many of them. They are safe. They are convenient. And what CCBC has done is created a list of possible options with either apartments and apartment managers that we are familiar with, and also getting student feedback from what our students have preferred and what's worked for them in the past. So when you make that decision that you'd like to come to CCBC, we are more than happy to provide you with this list, which is growing. It's changing. Like, we're always making sure that we're up to date on this so that you can reach out to potential housing places and find out what's going to work for you based on A, your needs, and B, your budget. But I would say in general, you can find something affordable. Baltimore and Catonsville is not a hugely expensive cities such as New York or Boston or Washington, D.C. So we are definitely more in the affordable range. Faculty Mentor Program. This is a fairly new initiative at CCBC and one that is going very well. I'm very excited about it. So this is a partnership between our office, International Student Services, and Global Education. And during a general brainstorming session, it was recognized that we have a lot of international students at CCBC, not only coming in on F1 student visas, but all sorts of different backgrounds. Some are permanent residents. They could be a variety of different statuses, but we have a very diverse student group. We also have a very diverse faculty and administrative group. So the thought was, okay, new students come to our campus all the time. Frequently, they're there by themselves, first time away from their family, maybe feeling a little, I don't know what to do, I'm lonely, I have questions, I don't have a support system. So what we're doing is mentoring faculty members, staff members at CCBC with international students to help ease that transition. And as I said, it's been extremely successful, very flexible. In general, faculty, students would meet once a week. And these days we're doing it obviously virtually. Hopefully the time will come in the near future. We'll actually be able to sit down, have a cup of coffee, have a cup of tea, and just get to know each other a little bit more about culture. But as a student, you'll also have the opportunity to ask questions about life at CCBC and, just things that just knowing that you have a person available that can assist you whenever you may need that. So faculty mentoring program is terrific. And when you come here, I hope you all choose to get involved with that. Moving on, I'm going to lump these together, academic advising and transfer advising, because they're on a continuum. So it is very, very important that you choose your classes in a certain way so that you are going to complete your 2-year degree with us at CCBC. That would be at least 60 credits. The degree is called an associate's degree, an AA degree. So then you can move on and transfer to your 4-year school or university. That's your bachelor's degree. So at least once a semester, you will meet with an academic advisor who will help you choose your courses for the next semester. And in general, students are taking at least 12 credits per semester, sometimes more. I've seen 15, I've seen even as many as 18 for people that are truly ambitious about this. But the goal here is to make sure that you are taking the right courses to get your degree from CCBC, and that you're also taking the right courses so that you will transfer seamlessly to your 4-year university. So that's what we're going to do. And there's a lot of hand holding that goes on in this department because we don't want to see students get on the wrong track. It's unfortunate when you're getting ready to graduate, you realize that you're missing a class. So we don't want to see that happen. A word about our Student Success Center. Excuse me while I take a drink. The Student Success Center is a great resource, a terrific resource for every student who is at CCBC. The good news is that it is a free service because the price is built into your tuition. So there is no extra financial obligation to take advantage of the Student Success Center. And essentially what this comes down to is one-on-one tutoring. So at any time during your college career with us, if you are struggling with a class, if you need some extra help with a class, if you just aren't getting it for whatever reason, we have our tutors and the Success Center that are there to help you one-on-one. Currently, once again, it's a virtual experience, but when things go back to normal, most likely it'll be in person or perhaps still continue virtually if that's what you prefer. So once again, just I would say almost every student, no matter how bright they are, how dedicated they are, there's always one class that just kind of gives them a fit. And it's really nice to know that there's a place that you can go and get the extra support that you need. I'll briefly just say the Success Navigators are a very dedicated group at CCBC who are there to help students who are having specific needs. And it could be some type of a crisis situation, perhaps food insecurity, maybe something happened with your housing and you don't have a place to live. It could be a physical situation, you're sick, you need some help. So these are the people that are available pretty much 24/7 to assist you in the event that there's any extreme, I would call them rather emergency situations. All right, so since I don't have any questions at the moment, we're going to go on with opportunities, which is closely related to the support system. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is our honors program with scholarships. And you're going to see there's going to be a repeating theme here, which is going to be scholarships and also opportunities to be able to earn money to help with your tuition. So the honors program is something that is available to all students after one successful semester at CCBC. If you have a 3.5 grade point average, GPA is the way we shorten that, you are eligible to apply for the honors program. It's not a difficult process to apply, but you need to get letters of recommendation for a couple of your professors. So you want to make sure that you get to establish a relationship with somebody that would speak highly of you and your skills and your ability to do a good job. And once you get into the honors program, the benefits are that you will be allowed to take honors programs, which are in general a little bit more demanding, a little bit more competitive than your standard classes. The class sizes are also reduced. So even though our class sizes in general are small, some of the honors program are 10 or 12 students, almost seminar, like sitting around like you do at a graduate level, just discussing various topics and doing your own research. And once again, demanding intellectually, but absolutely rewarding with the outcome of it. Additionally, and this is for many students a huge bonus, there is a $500 remission, that I would use that word, that's associated with being part of the program. So at the end of every semester that you complete with the honors program, you will be rewarded with $500 toward your tuition. So in addition to all the other benefits, you get a little bit of money at the end of it too, which is very nice. All right. Dr. Kurian talked about internship and research programs with nearby universities. He alluded to that. We have many, many working relationships with our four-year institutions and schools, once again, to make sure that our students transition easily into the programs there. Student ambassador and tutoring jobs, they go hand in hand. So student ambassador is part of a larger group on campus called Student Life. And one of the things, a few things I want to say about student ambassadors. First, many, many international students become student ambassadors. They gravitate toward it. And I love it. It's wonderful. A student ambassador basically is a representative for CCBC, both on campus and off campus. And I would consider it to be a pretty prestigious job. You have a lot of visibility and you get a lot of opportunities, and there are some terrific leadership training skills that are associated with it. And it's not for everybody, but the people that do it well and that are chosen to participate in this really do a fantastic job personally for their own growth and also for CCBC. So I'm going to give you one small vignette, because I really love this story, to show you how important the student ambassador is. So there's actually a woman that had worked in the International Student Office, one of my colleagues, who was a student ambassador. And pre-COVID, she got to go to Annapolis, Maryland, which is the head of the government, the seat of government in the state of Maryland, with the president of CCBC, Dr. Kurtenitis, who was a very, very well-known woman in educational circles throughout Maryland and actually throughout the United States, to meet with legislatures in the capital, in Annapolis, to talk to them about how important it was for them to continue to financially support community colleges. And this was a wonderful opportunity for somebody who, I don't know, 19 or 20 years old to actually be in the state capitol and meet with the lawmakers to basically make the case that community colleges are really important. So these are the type of opportunities that you would have or could have, as a student ambassador. I would say, very impressive. Something that would definitely look very good on a resume. So a few other things I'm going to mention quickly. Co-curricular programs, events. Oh, I want to say one other thing about the ambassador position is that also comes, that also comes with some money associated with it. So once again, you could get, I believe it's $500 towards your tuition if you are chosen and if you are successful in that role. All right, co-curricular, extracurricular activities. There are so many. I really couldn't even mention. If you can think of a topic, whether it's theater or art or photography or anime or cybersecurity or whatever, we have a program for it. There's lots and lots of extra things to do. Athletics, we have some really well-known athletic programs. We have a beautiful, beautiful gym, which unfortunately is not being used right now, but will be. And it will be open to students when we get out of COVID. And then academic and special interest clubs. Once again, we do have an international club run by my office, the International Student Society. We meet once a month. We get together. You do not have to be an international student to join, but most of them are. And we just have a good time getting together, talking about different cultures and different traditions. And in the good days, we were always eating and trying out lots of different foods. So I'm looking forward to the day when we get a chance to do that again. So I think my time is over. Thank you very much. You'll find out how to contact us at the end. So if you have any other questions, we'll be glad to help you out and answer them.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for that detailed and wonderful introduction to all the things that we offer, in addition to the excellent educational opportunities. So I thought it might be amiss if I don't mention about the wonderful state of Maryland. So, it's my, as we say in India, it's my karma bhumi. It's where I have decided to settle down, and it is, we call it the America in miniature. It's a very small state, as you can see in this figure, the huge state of, the huge country of United States of America. And right, like a small sliver, there is Maryland. But hey, it does, it is very powerful, even though it is small. It is very, very, it's a place to be. It has its access to the ocean. We live right on the Chesapeake Bay, which is very popular place for tourists and for locals. We have the hills on the west. We have the ocean on the right, and in between all the other things that nature has to offer: hills, plains, valleys, farmlands, forests, trekking places, hiking places, all those that a person like you would definitely love. And it's, in addition to that, it has a bustling city. I have a picture of Baltimore City right here. It's a very bustling, active city. You can go into the city, but step outside of, drive for a few minutes, maybe 20, 15 minutes, and then you're out in the country. You're out with nature. So things like that. And we have airports close by. Baltimore has its own international airport where we have flights from India, not as frequent as Washington, D.C., which is also very close. It's about an hour and a half drive. So we have everything that anybody would love to have. In addition, of course, there's the people. We have great, excellent, very friendly people in this area. In addition, we have a very diverse international community. As you can see, pictures from CCBC, where students from all parts of the world, they come here to study. And it's not just that we have an international community of people from outside, but we have a very vibrant Indian community. In fact, the South Asian community is the largest ethnic group in this area. So, think about the festivals that we celebrate, Onam, Pongal, Holi, Diwali, you name it. We celebrate everything here as vigorously, as nicely as you would celebrate in Kerala or Tamil Nadu. So it's a very vibrant community. A number of organizations for students in colleges and for adults who have finished their college, you are working. We have many Indian associations, many Kerala associations like Kairali or the Federation of Tamil Sangams. So you would feel right at home. We have very friendly families who are willing to have students as their paying guests. And by the way, this is way down here is this gentleman here is our governor, like the chief minister of Kerala or Tamil Nadu. So he's the governor with a lot of Indian community celebrating an Indian festival. So it's a very vibrant community, and it will be a very inviting community once you come down to the United States in this place called, Baltimore. With that, if you have any questions, let me know. But Miss Nelly would guide you through the admissions process, and if you have any questions towards the end, please let me know. So, Miss Nelly, whenever you're ready.
So good morning and from USA, Maryland, and of course, good evening in India. We are so delighted to have so many guests today to ask questions about what community colleges are like, what Maryland is like, and what opportunities are available for F1 visa holders. I want to share with you some basic steps regarding admissions, and I'm grateful for your questions. I have provided the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's link on how to apply for a student visa, an F1 visa. Again, we want to just reiterate that we're excited that you are considering Maryland and CCBC as a place to study, but the process of being allowed to study in the U.S. is regulated by the U.S. federal government. So I've stepped through just 4 ideas for you to think about so that you can follow up with questions to us. We are hoping that this is the beginning of a wonderful relationship, not our only opportunity to speak with you. So I will share with you as a 30-year counselor in the University of Maryland system, what we like to see students most is explore their program options. Quite frankly, to all parents, to students, we want you to do some thinking about your gift, your calling. I like to call it your divine design. Every engineer is not an artist. Every artist is not a nurse. So it is helpful if you have done some research, some career exploration. I love to call it conversations with your favorite aunt to decide what it is that you would like to do for a career. And once you've had those conversations, here in the U.S., we have many career interest inventories, surveys. But again, my favorite is to talk to your favorite aunt. Sorry, parents, you exact too much influence in this area. But once the student has identified what it is they want to study, then we do encourage them to go to our Study Maryland website, which I will share in the link shortly, to look at all of the many colleges that offer those degrees. At CCBC, because we are Maryland's largest community college, as you heard Dr. Kurian explain, we do boast more than 200 degrees and certificates. Literally, we have your degree program. The issue is, have you chosen us because it is the right fit for us? If that is the case, we're encouraging you to apply to CCBC. And Dr. Kurian, I could go briefly to our CCBC website, but I think I'll choose to put it in the chat later. Basically, there are 7 documents that you need to submit to CCBC. once you've decided we are your college, and we hope that we are your college, those 7 documents do include your educational credentials, your financial documents, your passport, an application. And once we have that information, we are ready to make you an offer of admissions, which includes your admissions letter and something the government calls a certificate of eligibility, or I-20. With your CCBC admissions letter and I-20, you are off to the U.S. consulate or embassy in there in India for a student visa interview. Speaking and praying that you impress the interview counselors, and you must, with your reasons for why you want to study in the U.S. Then you are able to travel to the U.S. Within 30 days of the start date of your degree program and meet with me, Ms. Liz, and the rest of our wonderful team to begin course registration and a successful academic career here in Maryland in the United States. But I just wanted to repeat, this is a highly regulated process by the U.S. government that should begin with personal and professional introspection about what it is that you would like to pursue as a career. And from there, we are absolutely available to help you with the mechanics of how to apply, encourage you through the visa interview. And then once you land here in Maryland, we'll embrace you and encourage you academically, culturally, intellectually. We will challenge you. We want you to be successful. We will follow you all the way to your PhD to eat graduation cake. Dr. Kurian, I'll move on, I think, to the next slide. And I want to share, of course, the Community College of Baltimore County's website, so ccbcmd.edu. In the search bar, if you will simply enter the word international, it will take you straight to our page with the 7 documents that I described that are required to be made an offer of admissions. Also listed is the general email for our office, which is carefully monitored by Ms. Liz Smith and another wonderful CCBC colleague, Ms. Catherine Grossman. So we're real people behind those email addresses. We are referring you to 2 physical offices where our campuses, our international offices are located in Catonsville, Maryland, and Essex, Maryland. Both are located around the Baltimore Beltway. Dr. Kurian, if we'll move on. All right, there's my name, really long name, Nellie Farmaletta. Most people just call me Miss Nellie. There is Miss Elizabeth Smith's name. That is our number. Those are our email addresses. We're excited about the opportunity that you have gotten up on a busy, or well, stayed up on a busy, is it Friday night or Saturday night? I'm sorry, that you have given us your precious time to think about studying in the U.S., to think about studying in Maryland, to think about hopefully choosing CCBC because we're the right fit for you. We want to be the college where you will come and boast and tell every family member and friend that you made the right choice for CCBC. Thank you, Dr. Kurian. So that's us, the Community College of Baltimore County, Maryland's largest community college, where you can earn your associate's degree and then hopefully transfer on to many competitive 4-year institutions. I do want to thank each one of you for the questions you've placed in chat. And Dr. Kurian and Miss Liz, if it's okay, at this point, we will encourage other questions in chat. I did, just to recap, answer a few questions while each of you were speaking. Our general questions were about the tuition fee, which is the cost for being able to be admitted to the Community College of Baltimore County is currently $26,411. This is the amount that the student must demonstrate that they have so that they can be made an offer of admissions. There were several questions about what an associate's degree is. I hope successfully, to explain that it is the first half of your bachelor's degree. There were questions about class sizes. And we reiterated, CCBC is committed to the smaller class size. It is part of our accreditation, how we plan to teach, how we interact with students. So no, we never make the class sizes bigger. That is what makes a community college experience unique. There was questions about employment for F1 students. And again, I reiterated that the federal government regulates employment, virtually everything for the F1 visa holder, from employment to the number of online classes you can take to when you can enter the U.S. When you enter the U.S. as an F1 visa holder, you are a guest, of the U.S. government. And as I like to remind all students, guests have certain protocols and expected behaviors. But we encourage your questions right now. And Dr. Kurian, I will turn it over to you and Miss Liz so that we can interact with students as they speak with us.
Sure. Yeah. So thank you so much, Ms. Nelly. Thanks for that wonderful the introduction to the process of admission and all the detail there. And one of the things I would do is probably share this presentation with our guests. So if they need more information about any of those things that we talked about, they can always come back to us. And of course, your links, if you've already posted them, I don't know, I'm just looking at the links right now. If you've already posted them, I can also add those links later as an email attachment to Mr. Kuriakose and our other guests. But yeah, I think at this point we will open the stage to questions from students, parents, teachers, administrators, in terms of what concerns you have, what questions you have about. I see a lot of questions. While others are asking questions, I can probably go through the list and answer them too. So any questions from anybody? Again, feel free to unmute yourself when you're talking, and so we can answer your questions.
I'm actually received a few questions. One of them is, will studying from CCBC enhance the impression on student certificate or job profile?
Miss Nelly, you want to answer that question? Joanne is asking if you take courses at CCBC, would that increase your chances in job prospects? Is that right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Joanne, for your question. And thank you for your warm introduction for us today. That was very encouraging. This technology and process is still new. And as Professor Kurian said, even though we might speak to many people all at once, 100 people here at 8:30 in the morning in Maryland, USA, it's still daunting. So thank you for your warm welcome and introduction. Regarding the associate's degree and the credential that domestic and international students earn, we talked today a lot about the transferability of an associate's degree, how it is the first half of a bachelor's degree. But there is something that community colleges in the U.S. do that we boast about. Quite humbly, we do train all of the state's first responders. In other words, in the spirit of COVID, I'm taking a moment to thank all of our nurses, our firefighters, our policemen, our, all the folks on the front line. So our associate's degrees are chosen by many U.S. working adults as job preparation. It is something that community colleges do that four-year institutions don't have the opportunity to do. So among our 60,000 students, half of them are adult and returning learners, people who need to earn a credential and go back to work or change jobs and go back to work. Sadly, in things like economic downturns and pandemics, enrollments rise at institutions like us because we offer practical credentials that help all students pursue a job when they're done. So while we are so proud of our, credentials that will take you to your PhD, we are equally proud and humbled by the impact that we have every day on the lives of the people in the state of Maryland. We prepare them to go to work and feed their families, and we're very proud of that.
Thank you. Yet another question is, what are the key benefits of joining a community college?
Thank you. And so, as we indicated, most students choose us. Maryland and U.S. residents choose us. International students choose us. As we said, small class sizes. The cost. My own son is a CCBC alumni. I'm so proud of him. I did take him to our huge, wonderful, renowned research neighbor who's right across the road, University of Maryland, Baltimore County. I highly respect them. They have been in business for years. But when he saw the large classrooms, and their cafeteria looks like a U.S. shopping mall, which that part is fun, but never mind. So many students choose us because of the cost, because of the class size, because of the transferability. I'll repeat that community colleges do not require a certain GPA or or standardized test score to enter. So many students come to us because they need time to prepare. They need time to explore a career. They do want a smaller class size. Quite frankly, here in the state of Maryland, our four-year institutions are extremely competitive. For example, our largest flagship institution, the University of Maryland of College Park, when I attended their orientation with my son then as a high school senior, they boasted that they accept 1 in 5 applications. The entering required GPA at that time was a 3.89 out of a 4.0. In other words, I jokingly say here in Maryland, because these are all state-funded institutions with our tax dollars, I explain that the University of Maryland College Park, my alma mater, where I'm finishing my PhD, it is the place where your tax dollars go, but your student might. So again, many students choose us because it doesn't require the same level of standardized test score or GPA. They can prepare for practical jobs. They do like the cost. Not in the case of the F1 visa holder, but in the case of domestic student, many of our students are part-time. I just want to reiterate, the federal government requires the F1 visa holder to be full-time, so they don't have that option. But many students choose us because they can study part-time and still work. A very practical education is what many U.S. residents find with the community college. Ms. Liz, would you add anything, or you, Dr. Kurian?
Yeah, I would add one thing that I've been thinking about, and I think from a student perspective, it's really important to know this. And I don't think we've talked about this, but I want to talk for a moment about the quality and the dedication of the faculty that work and teach at CCBC. I can't speak for other colleges. It's probably the same, but I do know CCBC. And I've been at this institution for about 9 years now in various campuses. So I've interacted with a lot of faculty in different ways. And there's one difference that I can discern between faculty that teach at CCBC and faculty that teach at four-year colleges. And it has nothing to do with the credentials, because the majority of faculty members of CCBC, they all have to have at least a master's degree, and many, many of them have doctorate degree. So they have exactly the same academic credentials that their counterparts do at four-year schools. The difference is they want to be teaching in a classroom. That's what's really important to them. They're not there to do research. They're not there to get their next paper published. They're there because they want to see the students succeed. And they are so dedicated to that. And it just, it's something that every time I see this in action, I'm like, it just makes me feel proud. It makes me feel good that I'm part of that group.
And can I add a little bit there too?
You should.
Completely agreeing with what Ms. Nellie and Ms. Elizabeth mentioned, which is that community colleges, and I've taught at both four-year colleges and community colleges. The difference is, when I look at it from the student perspective, is you get your faculty's undivided attention in terms of your educational growth. So many, like Ms. Elizabeth said, many four-year colleges, they are very focused on the research part, which is great for a graduate, which is postgraduate, as we call in India, postgraduate education. Research is great, but undergrads, they need that educational, the focus on education, getting the coursework done and all that. And that's something a community college can provide like no other college can. So, and like Ms. Nellie said, small class sizes. I've taught at a four-year college. It's like, it's huge, and it's impossible to give equal attention to each and every student because there's so many in every classroom. But come here to a community college, you have a small class size, individual attentions, and to focus on education rather than on anything other than that. So yeah, so that's the big plus in a community college. So great questions. Thanks, Joanne. Any other questions?
I got one here that says, if you take on athletics, is it possible that you can get a scholarship into a higher college?
Yes, and so CCBC does offer athletic scholarships. We would like to connect with the student individually and have them connect with our coaches. CCBC has everything except American football, which might be different than what you're thinking about in terms of football that we call soccer. But yeah, so we have baseball and what else do we have, Ms. Lisa? Lacrosse
swimming.
And basketball.
Yeah.
And soccer. And so we have many sports, and yes, there are some athletic scholarships. So we would like to work with that applicant one. We absolutely encourage you to apply, and we'll connect you with Coach Melissa Miller for more information about athletic scholarships.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't think we have any more questions right now.
Anybody from the teaching faculty or from the administrators who have any questions, or parents for that matter? You know, it's a major decision for parents too. So any questions from parents?
Thank you all for coming here today, especially all those, to everyone who contributed to the Q&A sessions. Thank you for your responses. I'm pretty sure that all the answers, or everyone's questions were answered properly. I know you all are very busy people, and I hope this was not too much trouble. We hope to get back to you in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we look forward to having these conversations again in the future.
Thank you for the privilege. We hope you will remain in contact. Briefly, I did enter in the chat a link for a virtual opportunity on April the 23rd. We're inviting all of the teachers and administrators there of the Raja schools to join us to learn more about CCBC and the state of Maryland and our 11 member institutions. This was a wonderful opportunity to meet you. We are humbled and grateful and look forward to a continued dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you so much.